As the corporate sector evolves, Berkha Africa remains committed to cultivating world-class thought leaders and providing innovative, human-centered solutions that shape a prosperous future for African governments and businesses. About Berkha Africa. Berkha Africa is a platform that houses expert consultants from across the African sub-region that provide strategic sustainable leadership, organizational development, corporate governance, coaching, and ESG advisory services to businesses and African governments. Berkha's strategic thrust is to strengthen strategic alignment for Africa's development by bridging the gap between governments, businesses, and industry experts for leadership and business solutions, serving as a center for excellence and transformative leadership insights in Africa. The consortium is dedicated to shaping ethical, visionary, productive, and sustainable businesses and leadership across Africa. Through advisory, training, and coaching, Berkha supports executives, managers, and organizations in achieving excellence, growth, and sustainable impact. Visit our website www.berkhafrica.com for more information.
Across Africa's boardrooms and backrooms, a new era is right. Across Africa's boardrooms and backrooms, a new era is rising. It's time to stop surviving and start thriving. Introducing Growth and Grind Africa, the game-changing radio show for leaders, dreamers, and doers. Every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Uniiq 95.7 FM. We bring you real conversations on leadership, coaching, transformation, and strategy. No fluff, just tools to grow, lead, and win in today's world. Whether you're behind the decks, behind the wheel, or at home, this is your moment to plug in, level up, and transform your hustle into impact. From purpose to performance, we've got you. Starting 17 July 2025, live on Uniiq 95.7 MHz and on all Berkha Africa social media platforms, Facebook, X, YouTube, and TikTok. Growth and Grind Africa. Learn it, lead it, live it. This program is powered by Berkha Africa and L&D Africa, and also live on L&D Africa social media platforms.
get into business, our very own Stanley went out to check out what people have to say about the topic. We'll get to that. Dr. Senyo, I think we have to introduce the guest in the room before me.
And so today we have two special guests, and the first person, the person of Dr. Samuel Kojo Senyo, my namesake.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. That makes two. All right.
Yes.
Good.
Two to tango.
It takes two to tango, as they say. So Dr. Samuel Kojo Senyo is a seasoned leadership expert and coach known for his work in executive coaching, business turnaround, and the training development. He comes on board with a rich experience, and he brings clarity, resilience, and a purposeful growth to lots of companies. He has a PhD as well. He will talk more about that in governance, and so that's Doctor. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Senyo.
Okay, that's funny, Dr. Senyo.
Dr. Senyo. Awesome.
And then the next, equally in my own eyes, Doctor.
Okay, please be careful. You don't want
G-Tech, I know,
chasing
right?
her.
Okay.
She's a coach.
Okay, so let's stick to coach. Let's stick to what we know. Okay, so she's in the person of Coach Catherine Engman. Okay, and she's also a social entrepreneur, purpose-driven business leader, as well as, most importantly, a certified coach. And she's done quite a lot of interesting things that I went searching, I went snooping, and I found quite a lot of things about you, and some of the examples might come in during the conversation. Catherine, you're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Senyo.
Must I say that Catherine is one of our pioneering coaches in Ghana? She's one of the top ICF coaches in Ghana.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. My senior coach.
All right.
That's great.
That's good to know.
Awesome. So as you've heard, dear listeners, we have Catherine and Dr. Senyo, not Dr. Senyo Kloche though.
Dr. Kozo.
Dr. Samuel Senyo
Yes.
in the studio. We have a very interesting topic today, and I believe our listeners will be excited to know and hear more from you on today's topic. I think we'll zoom right into business. Maybe I should start with Dr. Samuel Senyo.
Thank you, Madam.
You're welcome.
Lizzie Ann.
You're welcome. When you say purpose, we're talking about purpose, finding your fire. Okay, that's the topic, finding your fire and building our life around it. What does purpose mean to you personally?
It's a very interesting question. When we talk of purpose, simply I would say, what do you do? Why do you do things that you do? What are the things that you do that build you up as a person? What are the things that you do that make you to sort of do things to impact on others too? So if you don't have a purpose that reflects others, what they do, then I think there is a question mark. So let me put it this way, in a simple way. Growing up, I thought probably I was raised in a very strong Christian family, like a Pentecostal and apostolic, especially my mom. So what we do is
you are both Pentecostal and
yes,
apostolic.
My mom from Pentecost, from apostolic.
And your dad from Pentecost.
Yes.
Awesome.
So the interesting enough, what happened was that my mom, there's always a saying that love your neighbor as ourselves, but ours is a vice versa. Instead of loving ourselves, neighbor as ourselves, we rather love others more than ourselves.
Which is actually a sin. Eh?
Yes. Well, let's put it that way.
Because the Bible says love your neighbor
as yourself.
So,
but we are loving others more than ourselves. So it came to a point, the environment that I grew, that is how my mother was teaching us, that we were taught. So I fall into that trap. There was a time, normally what happens is that when I go to school and there is like an argument, and I realize that the other side, who happens to be a friend, and if I see what he's doing is, what he's on a good cause, what do? I will take the fight and fight for him. So normally what happened was that it came to a point, at a particular point in time, There was a guy who is so slim, but I thought maybe by underestimating the guy. Do you know what happened? The guy beat me up to the extent that I couldn't even have an air to breathe.
Physically.
Physical beating is what that was within the age of 13, 14. I couldn't have air to breathe. I say, wow, what is that? So since then, lucky enough, untimely intervention of a friend that came and separated us. And since then, I vow never to kind of fight again. Going forward, growing up, I realized that no, there is something that I have to do. There should be a purpose in my life. Well, in academic space, I was looking for that purpose, so I couldn't find. It's all about money. It's all about what? Title. My second degree, it's all about money. It's all about title. The third degree, which is where I claim that now I can have some, some discovery, like a form of discovering myself. That place, in terms of leadership and corporate governance, is all geared to, governance relating to corporate issues. So that one I couldn't find my purpose. So it came to a point, what then can I do to get my purpose in life? So I happened to enroll in the coaching, course. So I realized through the coaching course, I was able to build myself, to rewire myself to the extent that I was able to see how best to be and to empathize. I was able to see how best I can sort of, socialize, do better connection. I was able to regulate myself to the extent that I became, better from time to time. So I realized that now I have found my purpose. Now, the first purpose is me building myself, loving myself this time, not rather loving people more than myself. So that is the first purpose that I found.
Interesting. So not to cut you, but then you have an interesting personal story leading to you discovering your purpose. It took you quite a long journey.
Precisely.
And I would like to hear from Catherine. Do you have a similar story, or what does purpose basically mean to you when you hear the word purpose? What's your purpose for life?
I know it's such a big question. What's your purpose for life? And purpose to me is, it sounds very cliched, but it's that compass. It's your guiding star, your true north. That's what purpose is to me. And what purpose is for me is really, I think of it as a stew. And it's a mixture of my values, my experiences, my unique gifts. And they come together to give me my purpose. And when I was younger, I actually think, and we all have different ways we evolve, and we have different stages through which we evolve. So when I was younger, I actually thought that purpose was money and titles. And I went searching after the next promotion, next title, big boss, and still I was deeply unhappy. And it was through there and through some reflection that I discovered that actually my purpose really is to serve, because I'm a deeply compassionate person. And it's really about using my gifts, my unique gifts, to be able to serve others to reach higher versions of themselves. So that's how I discovered my purpose. It was actually through my discomfort.
Great. So I mean, your anecdote kind of reminds me of Paul Gauguin, the artist. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you made mention discovering both anecdotes to me reminds me of that. And then he goes, and then he paints. He finally goes to Tahiti, leaves France, go to Tahiti, a deserted place, wants to find purpose, in search of purpose, and he lived an impoverished life. But at the end of the day, he came up with a very famous painting, and on it he wrote this. It was in French, anyway. So he says, "D'où venons-nous?" That's where are you from? Qui sommes-nous? Who are we? And then où allons-nous? Where are we going? And so in these three questions, it's it kept, because it was preoccupied with this. So basically, just to say that your values, your culture, everything ties in. As long as you're living, you always have a journey. It's not like a destination, but a
Doc,
journey.
can you go over those your French words again? Dovilonu?
I like what you said. I always see that purpose is a journey, not a destination.
Yes,
actually,
exactly.
It is. Yes.
Interesting. Very interesting. So for young people, elderly people, people who are entering their professional life, people who are just getting into university, people who are going into retirement, a lot of people who somehow find themselves stuck in discovering their purpose and lost. What do you say to someone like that, Coach Catherine?
I don't have one piece of advice for all those different groups, because everybody's at a different stage of evolution. It's when we get much older that we start asking ourselves the existential questions: who am I? What am I doing? Yeah. But when you're younger, you have the yearning for different things. Yes,
do things differently. And all.
Don't you think that's the right time if we are talking about influencing mindset shift and looking towards transformation? When do you think is the right time to initiate such conversations?
And I wish that conversation had happened in my 20s. I should have been a teacher. Okay. I felt this absolute yearning to be a teacher when I was growing up, but I just shelved it because I was looking for money and I was looking for position and time. Yeah, absolutely. And so if someone had had that conversation with me at that age, absolutely, I agree with you, Coach. I would have been able to live that purpose from a younger age.
What do you say, Dr. Senior?
Exactly so. So, growing up, we didn't know that things like this will happen in our lives. We live a life where we don't even know where we are going. Until finally, before you realize that this is where I have discovered myself. So do we have to wait till we reach certain level in life before we begin to discover ourselves? I don't think it's the best.
But the question is, how do I discover myself? I'm just asking for the audience, because I know someone is listening and wondering, you're talking about discovering yourself. How do I discover myself? How do I know what's important to me? How?
Okay, for me, I always say start with the things that come naturally to you. What do you enjoy doing naturally that doesn't feel difficult? That's the first thing. And then what are your values? And also, what makes you cry? What gets you really angry? Because when you can identify one of those three things, you can actually discover your purpose.
That's great. Let me also add up to what you said. In life, discovering of purpose seems to be a bit tough. Why am I saying this? You are exposed to even the environment in which you live wouldn't allow you to discover yourself earlier, or maybe the purpose in which you can't get it earlier, because a lot of things will pressure, friends, family, what have you, and you yourself, you feel that no, these days I have to do something quick to make it. But by way of doing that, you don't really realize the purpose. But if you as an individual, you sit down and you continue to reflect upon yourself, look at what people has done, listening to other angles, what is happening in world around you, you sit up and say that I have been created unique. What am I doing also to offer to the society? So that definitely somebody will see me and say, indeed, you have rewired yourself to have a better version of yourself.
How do I offer something to the society when I have not even found myself?
Okay, so there are some things that actually come naturally. And one of the things that happened to me was I noticed when I look back in my life in my 20s and 30s, I was trying to be someone that I wasn't. So I'm a naturally compassionate and loving person. But I thought that in this world, you cannot exist if you are loving and compassionate. You have to be cutthroat, aggressive, pushy. So I was living like that. Now, if I had sat down and said, well, let me accept myself for who I am a loving and compassionate person, that's okay, the path may have been smoother.
What made you live like that?
What, like?
Yes, is it the environment within which you find yourself? Is it the friends, family?
Absolutely. Everyone is aggressive. You've got to be assertive. You've got to, cutthroat, promotions. And I never, I was never terrible to anyone by pushing them down, but, constantly pushing and striving, because I tried just much to hide my loving and compassionate side, because I didn't believe that would make me win in this world. So I think it's about going back to, we don't find ourselves, we already are.
Okay, so what I gather is that purpose is not a destination; it's a continuous journey that you walk through. Sure. So at a point in at every stage in life, you discover something different. Is that it?
What I say is that it evolves.
Okay,
your purpose evolves. So, like you say, it's definitely a journey. And maybe at this point in my life, my purpose may be slightly different to maybe even 5 or 6 years ago, but our core doesn't change.
And my follow-up question would be, just say the listeners out there, just for the benefit of the listeners out there, we are talking about purpose. And I just want to be a bit crude and say, is purpose what we are going to eat?
I love that.
I mean, would that put food on the table for me?
It may. It will.
So how then do I build a life, an income around my purpose? To make it a purposeful living.
Yeah, I think I like that. A purposeful living.
I'll share something. About 2 or 3 years ago, I was languishing. I had left a business partnership that I was in, and I really didn't know where to go next. And I remember for about a period of 6 months, I was lost. And I sat on the sofa and I just prayed. I said, God, lead me. And I heard 2 words, service and love. And so when the phone rang after that, I picked it up with a heart of service and love. And you know what? That is what led me to where I am today. So, but to your question is that it's not what we would eat, but it can help us if we live in accordance with it.
Okay.
Because sometimes it can direct us to what we will eat.
Let me also add.
Yes, please.
Sure.
The fact that it will not give you what you eat or whatever, it will still give you what you eat. Why am I saying this? If you are able to discover your purpose, you are able to kind of live a life that influences others. Definitely what will happen is that you become well known, you become fulfilled as well. So definitely when you are fulfilled, what do you need in life that you can get? Okay, the Bible even said that seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Let me be a Christian. Let me be a bit pastor Christian here.
You shouldn't apologize.
So the kind of somebody that everybody will see and admire. Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
Yes. So not necessarily putting food on your table, but it's a matter of having value. Albert Einstein says something very nice, which I like. They say, try not to be a person of success, but try as much as you can to be a person of value. Are you getting it? So
it's value that brings the money.
Precisely.
Okay, so value and then your willingness to provide service.
Thank you.
So service would create that value.
And
then that value would
draw them, magnetize the money.
Who magnetize?
Dr. Senor is very particular about putting food on the table.
Of course, I mean, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We need to eat. Can I also add and build on what Doc said? Is that I hear you, Doc, that you say that your purpose will make you well known, but let's not put pressure on people. Because there's some people whose purpose is to serve from the back.
Precisely.
And they will never be well known.
Good.
And for example, I've got a friend who has 7 beautiful children, and she feels like she hasn't achieved anything in life because her purpose was to raise a healthy family. So it doesn't make her well known, but she's lived her purpose.
And she's made an impact.
Exactly.
Which is
7
generational.
well-adjusted
Exactly.
children. Absolutely.
Exactly. Interesting. Very interesting.
So in
to us.
finding your purpose, who were some of the people who kind of influenced you, mentored you?
Okay, I saw that question and I said, well, in my day, there was no internet, there was no Google, there was nothing. You had to do it the hard way. There were no mentors, there were no online coaches in my day. So who were the people? I would say that back to Christianity, God. When you pray, God leads you.
So the God factor.
The God factor, absolutely. Because you can't, God is the one that puts the purpose inside of you.
And it doesn't matter whether you, as you are listening, it doesn't matter whether you are a Muslim or Christian, it's the God factor.
Yeah,
seeking for that divine intervention, feeling that spiritual part of you.
That is it.
Absolutely.
How about you, Dr. Samuel?
Yes, in life, you should strike a balance. Let's assume that it's about physical aspects, it's about, your well-being, your spiritual well-being should also be taken into consideration. You should also take consideration about how, even the food you eat, about the exercises that you do and all that. So by way of doing that, you build a better life for yourself and be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I answered your question. I don't know whether...
You have tried. I'm trying to play the devil's advocate because I know there's someone out there listening and wondering. You sound so smooth and relational, but there are people who just feel stuck in a world that is driven by money, fame, status. You have to be it, and especially with the social media pressure. Now it's not just limited to the young people, even the elderly. I was with a lawyer friend, and she was like, I asked, "Are you on LinkedIn?" She said, "Me. What am I going to be doing?" And LinkedIn is a profession. I said, no. Where people are putting pressure on degree and purpose.
Absolutely.
How can someone stay true to their purpose?
Coach
that may not be glamorous.
Can I make a comment on
Yes,
LinkedIn? So when I used to go into LinkedIn and I would get stressed. I'm like, oh my gosh, this person is hanging out with this president. This person is moderating this panel here. What am I doing? And then I said, I'm going to come to LinkedIn and serve. And so my articles on LinkedIn are from a place of service where I'm just sharing the knowledge that I'm learning in a way to impact boards. So that's how come I teach on LinkedIn rather than, oh yes, I've just won 10 awards and put pressure.
So what would you advise young people and even professionals?
I would say that
glamour, being a socialite.
We're all dancing to the beat of our own drum. Learn to hear the beat and dance to that, because when you have to look at your own self-worth, and if your self-worth is tied to the external accolades, then life will never be truly fulfilling. And we coach people, right, who are never fulfilled because they think their fulfillment is going to come from the title. So what I say to young people is, it's hard not to, but don't allow it to affect you. Stay the course to your own path. Stay on your own path.
It's good.
I don't know.
Because I'm listening and I'm thinking perhaps contentment, accountability would do, because when you have, the story of the Greek story of Julio Caesar, okay, right? And I look at Kate.
You say Julio Caesar. We call him Julius Caesar.
He's saying it very
It's
properly.
French.
Okay.
Julio Caesar.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay, you stopped my train of thought now.
Continue.
So sorry.
Okay. So, beware the soothsayer kept on reminding him when he was on his pomp and pageantry on this horse, comes to Rome and all that, and then he was reminded that you are man.
You are just a man.
You're just a man. You're not God. You're just a man. So you always need, I think you always need people around you who are not just singing to your tunes and, oh wow, he's good, he's done this, he's done that. But you have people who, like people around you, very close people in your inner circles who have seen you grow. They were with you in the trenches, were with you up there. So they remind you, you are but a man.
Yes.
You are but a man. Not God. And so when you come to that realization, then you should be content, you be satisfied that I cannot do everything. I cannot do all that perhaps society would want me to do, which might be noble cause. But I was listening to back in my days, I think some years back, I was listening to Maya Angelou, and then he quotes the slave, Greek slave, black slave, and he says, I am but one. I don't know how, I'll just paraphrase it. I am but one. I can't do everything, but I only do what I know I can do. So it comes down to that.
Interesting. So Dr. Senyu, what do you have to say to Catherine and other Dr. Senyu, host, I think is more than a guest, has spoken about how do you thrive? How do you work with you?
In the face of money.
In the face of
title,
pressure and money and
pressure
title and societal influences.
Yes, that makes you unique. In the midst of all these things, what can I do different for me to be at par? Yes, pressures will definitely come. Society, what you see around you will surely put you down. You cannot be able to, be at par with what is going on. But I think what you have to do is you have to be resilient. You have to be committed. You have to be strong in life. Okay, whatever values that you are building, ensure that you build the value. Ensure that you become a unique person among all the lots. The question you ask yourself is that all the monies that we are chasing, all the what do you call the titles and whatever that we are chasing in this world, do they come out with value? Do they come up with values?
I hear a lot of value and value and value.
Yes, it's very key. It's very key because without values in life, even in marketing, when you are producing, they say add value. Are you getting the point? If you don't add value to your product, who will buy it for you? You can't sustain your business. So in life, value should be key in life. Even when you are having a purpose in life, you can't just have any purpose, the way of doing anything anyhow. But there should be value of that purpose in which you are having. So that at the end of the day, you stand peculiar, you stand unique in whatever that you do. So in this challenging world, what I say, or I come out to say, is that without values, you cannot be able to do anything in life. Without having that uniqueness in you, you can't be able to do. You will be having the fame, you will be having the money, you'll be having whatever. But without values, who will even respect you? Who will even see you as somebody? But when the values are there, when you have the value of service, when you have this service, let me put it this way, servant leadership. Look at Madam Catherine, a very poor man who doesn't have anything, but he went to the extent of taking care of the poorest of the poor. Okay? At the end of the day, what do we see? He is becoming a name and a common name in the whole world that people cherish, people respect so much. So the question is that why then do you chase money? Do you chase this? Do you chase that? And then forget about the values that you have to build for yourself.
So the question is, what value do you bring to the table? How can you do things differently? That's what I hear.
You can do different things differently by being self-disciplined.
Being self-disciplined.
Yes. You can do things differently by being committed to whatever you are doing. You can be doing things differently by being a lifelong learner. Yes. You can do different things differently by seeing things around you and learn a lot from others, what they do, what are the good things that come out from them. Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
If you are able to get those things, you are building yourself up. You are adding value to yourself.
Yeah.
You get the point. But if you say, no, I'm chasing money, look at it. These days, social media, you look at it, some people will do everything to make money. They can insult to make money. They can put out pornography or whatever out there and they will make money. So is that what we want as a world? We don't want those things as an individual or as people, as a nation or as a community. So the best thing is I will always say is values.
Right.
You build the values and then you make it. Self-discipline, commitment, lifelong learning, humility, and a lot. Then you become who you should be. I think that is what we have to be
Beautiful.
Heading towards or fighting to kind of get in life.
Great. Let's we will continue this conversation. Now you'll quickly go for an interlude, a musical interlude. And so, listeners out there, if you have questions, right after the questions, Lizzie Ann would give out the numbers you could call in, ask your questions. And if you're on social media, Facebook, Berkha Africa and LND social media platforms, you could equally post your questions and it would be read. And I'm sure Dr. Senyo and then Catherine would do justice to our questions. And so the song of the day was one of my favorites, the legendary Osibisa. Everybody, the sunshine, right? Good. So let's listen.
Across Africa's boardrooms and backrooms, a new era is rising. It's time to stop surviving and start thriving. Introducing Growth and Grind Africa, the game-changing radio show for leaders, dreamers, and doers. Every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Uniiq 95.7 FM. We bring you real conversations on leadership, coaching, transformation, and strategy. No fluff, just tools to grow, lead, and win in today's world. Whether you're behind the decks, behind the wheel, or at home, this is your moment to plug in, level up, and transform your hustle into impact. From purpose to performance, we've got you. Starting 17 July 2025, live on Uniiq 95.7 MHz and on all Berkha Africa social media platforms, Facebook, X, YouTube, and TikTok. Growth and Grind Africa. Learn it, lead it, live it. This program is powered by Berkha Africa and LND Africa, and also live on LND Africa social media platforms.
What you doing?
Your smile will bring your sunshine.
Okay, find your fire, find your purpose. And this is Growth and Grind Africa, the transformative talk show. So it's now time for us to connect with you, our listeners. And like Dr. Senyo said, whether you are joining us on Facebook, YouTube, LND Africa, Berkha Africa, please, this is the time for you to send in your questions. Connect with the guest in the studio. Let's hear what you have to say about the topic. If you are tuning in to Uniiq FM 95.7, this is the number to call. We would like to hear your voice. We would like to hear, have you found your fire? How are you moving along in this journey of self-discovery? The number is 055-834555. 055-834555. 055-834555. Okay, let me quickly go to Facebook. I have Maria Jite says, very interesting and educative topic. Thank you, Growth and Grind Africa. Please, if you can add where you're joining in from, your country or city, that would be fine. So the number again is
055.
Yes, please go ahead.
0550-834555.
Mm-hmm.
0550-834555.
Good. We have a question for Dr. Samuel Kujo. This from Facebook. And it says, in your experience coaching leaders, what's the first step someone should take when they feel lost or disconnected from their purpose? I'll come to the studio. I just want to take it. There's someone on the line. Hello, good evening. This is Growth and Grind Africa. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Growth and Grind Africa. Okay, I think we lost that caller.
Yeah, it looks like we lost it, but it's still the number still is 0550-834555. 0550-834555.
Okay, let me continue with Facebook comments. We have Mary Godley. She says, thank you very much. We need more. Coach Catherine, we need more of this. We need more. And then we have another one from Facebook. Georges Ade says, from a governance and mindfulness perspective, wow, this is a book long. How can individuals ensure their purpose aligns with their core values while also benefiting their community and organization? The phone lines are still open. Please feel free. You can send a text message. You can send a text message. You can send a WhatsApp message to the same number. We are on standby for your call, but let me get back to the studio. Who would want to take it first? Coach Catherine?
The good doctor.
Take it from me. Take it from me.
Okay.
Ladies
So
first.
for doctor, your question is, in your experience coaching leaders, what's the first step someone should take when they feel lost or disconnected from their purpose?
My question, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. When you feel lost, coaching is all about guiding, supporting. You don't train. You guide, you encourage them. So you ask series of questions. Why are they lost? What is happening? Is this something at workplace, or are they having a problem in their house, like maybe a family issue? What issue is making them to get lost? So questions that you ask will definitely bring the answers for you to see how best you can support, guide them, and to be who they should be. So I think from my perspective, that is how I see I will guide someone in this situation.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Then, Coach Catherine, yours is from a governance and mindfulness perspective. How can individuals ensure their purpose aligns with their core values while also benefiting their society or organization?
So, like I mentioned earlier, your purpose is intertwined with your values, and so I do not think that you can separate your purpose from your values. And in fact, your purpose comes from your values.
Correct.
So the two of them are intertwined. Now, how do you use that to benefit? The question was, how can we ensure that they use it to benefit the wider society? Because our purpose is much, much bigger than ourselves. Our purpose will often lead us. You know that when it's really your purpose is that when it leads you to benefit people other than yourself. So, for example, after many, many years of introspection and personal development work and coaching, I realized that my purpose is using my gifts of love and compassion is to equip and enable others to reach their highest potential within the context of joy and authenticity. So I came to that, and that's how I see that. So there is an exercise I take people through. If you mind, can I?
Please go
explain?
ahead.
Okay.
This is an online learning platform.
So to answer what was that person's question? So to answer that person, it was listing your unique personal qualities, so such as your passion, your enthusiasm, or your curiosity, and then the ways you enjoy expressing those qualities when interacting with others. And then you describe the world as you'd like to see it. if the world were perfect right now, what would it look like? And for me, if the world were perfect right now, it would look like everyone living their authentic selves, but the authentic selves that benefit wider society, not just themselves. And then you combine all of these into a single statement. So that's how I came to using my gifts of love and compassion, equipping and empowering people to live the highest version of themselves. Because if the world were perfect right now, everybody would be living the highest version of themselves.
But the world is not perfect.
It's not, but if it were, because if it were. So he said, how do we use this to benefit others? So we need to look at this in the context of if the world were perfect, that's where I got my purpose from. So your purpose comes from how you would like to see the world.
Great.
And then someone once asked me, what if the person was to see a world in which... Anyway, let's not go there. Yes.
Beautiful. Who else?
So what's the next question again? The next question from our audience.
No, it was more of thank you. This message is beautiful. Yes, that's it. Would you want to read the phone number once again?
Sure, definitely. So the numbers again are 055 083 4555. 055 083 4555. Great. So I have a personal question. So sometimes, especially individuals in the corporate world, they look to the next position. There is a point where you peak. There's no other position again to aspire to. What would you tell that person? They're a CEO all alone in the penthouse office corner space, looking over to see the beautiful town of city of Accra by night.
Okay, Dr. Senior, please, before you take it, there's a caller on the line. Good evening and welcome to Growth and Africa. Growth and Grind Africa.
Yeah, Growth and Grind Africa here.
Good evening.
Yes, you see, the discussion you are having, I see that all is centered, I mean, at least from the foundation itself. The way your parents or the people around you bring you up, you see the foundation, and then as you grow, you look at your environment and then you see whether you can thrive. But sometimes you can have this passion of identifying yourself and trying to do something for the larger society. But sometimes the environment in which you are to can be hostile. And if the environment is hostile, you have to move out of that environment, whilst maybe you don't have all it takes to move out of the environment. And in some situations too, you in your own small way, you do certain things like, okay, you hold it for me and let me do the same thing anyway. You hold it for me and before you come, those people around you are drawing you down, And sometimes this is how it hangs, and then you lose control, and then you feel like, okay, it is better.
Thank you so much. That's a very powerful question. I think Coach Senyo or Margaret, Catherine, who would want to take it?
Okay, I can start. And I what you said so resonates with me. I think one of the things that is important is the people we surround ourselves with. And I say that life is a long journey. And we're all on a bus, and there are going to be people that are going to get off the bus and people that will get on the bus. And so in the spirit of living your purpose, there will be people that fall off the bus. Personally, I've lost a lot of friends because of the path that I've taken, and it's okay because I found other most wonderful people. Like I would have never met you if it wasn't for the coaching
that's
community.
So sweet.
So I say that, yes, in living your purpose, you're going to lose some people, but you'll also gain some people. And that's, unfortunately, that's the way it rolls. And yes, there's some environments that are going to be very hostile to you. Absolutely. Sometimes you may have to leave the environment, but I always say that if you're living your true purpose and it's supposed to be, you'll find a way to muddle through.
Thank you. Thank you. So you have to fight for you.
Absolutely.
And the greater good of society. Because if you want to make a difference, then you need to end the society, your surrounding is not helping. You need to step out, add value, and come back and impact value. Dr. Senyo, in your parting words, what advice would you give to someone trying to blend their purpose with their current profession or their current situation in life?
Madam Lizzie, thank you very much. With the current situation, all that I can say is that never lose guard in terms of whatever you go through in life, maybe in terms of the titles, the monies that move around. Be, focused. If this is what you feel like you are doing, life, I will always say, is not a game. Life is it's all about seriousness, about being focused, about having direction, that this is the path that I want to take, and that path alone is what will take me through. I think if you have that as a person, irrespective of the environment in which you come from, you can thrive. But if you live and you feel that, because of the environment, people will say this, somebody will say that, no, whatever you feel is a positive direction that can drive you to do something for yourself and to better yourself. Why don't you do it? So I suggest, or I say that irrespective of whatever environment you find yourself, if you get focused, if you are diligent in whatever you are doing, I think you will come out successfully and be on top of affairs and be unique in life.
Beautiful. Coach Catherine, what will be your parting words to our audience? And to me in the studio, I've been blessed.
Something just hit me, and it's so left field. Really look at your attitude in all of this, because it's through I always say that our attitude determines our altitude. And I think it was just to piggyback on what you said, is that you will thrive if you develop certain traits. And so what I leave the audience with is, purpose is not complicated. Don't think of it as some grand woo-woo. It can be so simple as just to serve. And we can live our purpose every single day when we don't think of it as a grand thing, like to change the world like Elon Musk will. But we can find purpose and meaning in every single day and every single interaction.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Great. That's I thought we would continue for the next hour, but it looks like the time is almost out. And so listeners out there, various institutions out there, if this is Growth and Grind Africa, it's something we've been doing and something that we seek to see that mindset change in Ghana and across the sub-region as well. And so if you would want to walk with us on this journey of changing minds, partner with us, partner with the program, don't hesitate. Growth and Grind Africa. You can reach out for sponsorship and all other packages that come along with hosting you as guest and all that. Growth and Grind Africa. You could reach out to us on Growth and Grind Africa on our platforms, on be it social media platforms and other platforms. But most importantly, when it comes to sponsorship, you want to keep it confidential and sweet. So you can just reach out to these numbers, 020-178-2877, 020-178-2877, and say Growth and Grind Africa. Then I know what to respond.
Leave it, let it, lead it.
Yeah.
What do we have? Advert. L&D Africa is hosting their L&D Africa 2025 conference in Nairobi from the 15th to the 17th of October. If you haven't registered yet, they have corporate packages and individual packages. Please go to www.lndafrica.com and then you can reach out to them on all their social media handles. It's almost time. I think their seats are almost getting booked. Please make haste and register for the L&D Africa Conference 2025.
Likewise, Berkha Africa is also proposing a similar package. And so amongst the many other services Berkha Africa does, ADR, what else, governance, leadership, and all that, we want to introduce or push forward for executive coaching for institutions in the corporate world as well as the public sector. And so, like the question I asked, the CEO, who speaks to him, who advises, who guides, So Berkha Africa is having this special package through from now till October. Is limited space and booking for the rest of the year. From now until October, Berkha Africa is offering special packages for executive coaching, leadership coaching, development coaching, team coaching, leadership pipeline development. And to be able to reach out to them, you can contact berkhaafrica.com. Berkha is spelled BERKHAAFRICA.com, berkhaafrica.com, as well as the ICF Coach Certificate Training Program, which starts in September. So reach out to Berkha Africa, berkhaafrica.com, and then you would have all the information you need. For direct line, contact 0553 200 302, 0553 200 302.
And that brings us to end of our show today.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. It's been quite a very insightful session. Coach Catherine and Coach Senior Doctor, you've shared a lot. What I'm taking away is the French word. I think he would add it. Where are you from?
D'où venons-nous?
Who are you?
Qui sommes-nous?
Where are you going?
Où allons-nous?
And this is Growth and Grind Africa.
Thank you.
Make sure that you keep growing, keep grinding, searching for your purpose, and add value to society. Till we meet next week Thursday. I've been your host, Liziane Kwabeji. Stepping in for Coach Margaret is
Dr. Senyo Kluchedo.
Have a wonderful evening. God bless.
Bye.
Hi, I am Austin Game, and I will be listening to Growth and Grind Africa, the transformative talk show, every Thursday on Uniiq FM at 5 to 6 p.m. Let's learn, grow, transform Africa. Growth and Grind Africa. Live it, learn it, lead it. You are welcome.
The question is, do you have ownership of that? Have you discovered who you are?
I have a head. I bought it from the market. No. It was made by someone. I own it.
that is
Now,
yours.
the question is, do you have ownership of that?
I own it.
Have you discovered who you
I have a head. I bought it from the market. No.
So
It was made by someone. I own it.